So hello everyone, Vidya here, and I'm here again with another live today. And today we're going to talk about how to be a phenomenal parent. So I'm sure many of you, like me, have understood that the way we were parented is so different from the way we parent our kids. You can call it generational gap or whatever, but there is so many things more different now. Let me just share this to the group. Give me a second. Okay. Okay. So that's great. So I'm just sharing it with the anxiety group that I have. So as you know that I focus on working with teenagers, but what is more important is for us as parents to first start going inward and looking at ourselves on how we are showing up as parent for our kids, because many times what happens, we're always expecting somebody else to change. So we're expecting our teenagers, and imagine our teens are much younger than us. So expecting them to change is quite challenging, and you're always having it on an external, focusing on them. So this is where I have realized from my own experience and by working with my clients using RTT, that what's more important is for the energy as parents that we send out. I used to feel before the same that I'm not a good parent, and that definitely reflected in the way my kids felt towards me. They didn't trust me enough then. They weren't confident with my decisions because somewhere they had the belief which they got from me basically. And I've also seen that with a lot of the parents, the teens that come up to me where I work with. So what I do in my sessions when I work with kids, I definitely work with the parents too. I give a recording for the parents too to listen, because what we put out as parents is so important. And many times I've noticed that it's not even us even saying to them loud, because especially as mothers, and unfortunately for mothers, because we have the deep connection with our kids when when we had them in our womb, nurtured them. So whatever we think and feel, our kids get it very quickly. So you may not at times even tell them openly, but they definitely can relate to what you're feeling and thinking about them. And at many times that could be a very negative impact on them, because if we constantly, though outside we do everything to give them a comfortable life, but deep inside if we keep thinking, you know what, my son is not going to listen to me, or he's so hard, it's so difficult, he's stressing me out, and that's what's going to go out to them, and they would see that. So that's the reason good kids definitely come from good parenting. And the other thing is, don't beat up yourself if so far you got it wrong. As I always keep saying, when we studied, we had school, then we did college, then we did masters, and then we worked. So we had so much years of knowledge and experience to actually do the work that we're doing. But when it comes to parenting, there's absolutely no manual. We are just given with this baby, and then we just have to learn on the go. So as parents, please don't be hard on yourself. That's always I keep reminding myself that every single day, that it's okay to make mistakes, it's okay to be vulnerable in front of your kids. In fact, it's good to share that with them, because that way they don't think that that they live in this ideal world, that their parents are not or their parents are these super moms, super dads who can achieve everything, and then that puts unrealistic expectations on themselves. Then they start believing, you know what, look at my mom, she's a perfectionist, or look at my dad, he's like super organized, he's achieved so much, mom has achieved so much. Then that puts a pressure on them that I have to be constantly doing something, I have to be achieving. So it is very important to show the good side and the bad side. When I mean bad side is, please be vulnerable. That's what I have done, and that I've realized have made my kids more resilient and more practical about life, because life is all about ups and downs. In my experience with where I work with not just kids, but I also work with adults, a lot of them have this high achiever syndrome, right, where we expect like life to be like this, but unfortunately it's not. That life is all about ups and downs, and me being a high achiever, it's taken me many years, and I'm still a work in progress. There are times when I do doubt myself. I do feel, am I showing up as best as my parent, as a parent, as an individual? So it's very, very important for us to put on our first oxygen mask. If you're in the flight and you've always seen that, they say put on the mask first and then you can put it on to your even your child. So that's what I realized some years ago, that I have to first take care of myself. I have to ensure that I love myself, I accept myself for who I am. And if there are days I make a mistake, it's okay. The days when I feel low, it's okay to feel low. But what's not okay is to put myself down, is to be harsh on myself, is to just, okay, I fell down today. It's like how we ride a bike, right? When you first teach the kids to ride a bike, there are times they will fall down. So the same way, allow yourself to fall down. The only thing is, don't stay in that state for a long time. Take your time, get up, brush your bruises, and get on with life, because life has got so much to offer, and that is what life is all about. It's about all the challenges, the achievements. It's a mix of many things. So as parents, remember that you are first individuals, you're first humans. So you have your own needs, you have your wants, you have your moods. So it is impossible and it is unfair on you to expect that you're going to be this perfect parent. There's no perfectionism anyways. So being this parent who doesn't shout, who's always so patient, who knows everything, who's taking the right decisions for their children, no, it doesn't work that way. And it's okay, it's completely okay. This is where, when I work with kids, I keep reminding the parents it's completely okay, because as somebody said before, I think Mary Angelou, that it's not how you tell somebody, it's how you make them feel. So your kids are going to learn from what you are doing. You cannot be just telling them things, they will not learn from it. I've learned in my own experience. You have to be out there leading by example, and that they learn faster. So if you want the right behavior in your kids, I want you to go inward and ask yourself, are you having a similar behavior? I remember, like, when I stopped watching TV when my sons were like very young, because when I didn't want them to watch TV, it's unfair for me to be watching TV in front of them. So for many years, I do watch, but I've stopped the binge watching that I used to do before. So I always question myself this, even before RTT, since my kids were born, I always used to question myself, like, if I'm asking them to do something, am I doing it? If I'm expecting them to do well in dancing, I used to practice with them. If I expected them to do well in instruments, I used to help. I also used to do, because I didn't want them to feel that, what, my mom is not doing anything, but she's just forcing us to do. Till an age, they would listen to you and do it because, they are dependent on you. But then there's so much of resentment that gets built up with it. So better way is for you to focus on your growth, on what you want to do. So when I did my MBA, like when I was like 33, and my kids actually saw my graduation, I think that was a huge example for them. They got inspired. And so it's constantly, and it's not just with kids but with anybody. If you constantly expect them to change, you have to go inwardly and ask, like, have you changed? Okay, so now today I'm going to share with you an important tool. I had shared this a couple of days back in a post. So if any of you have not, I don't know whether I can add a file here. Okay, I shall add the file here after this live call. Or if anybody wants that file, you can reach out to me. So I've created a PDF document, a one-page document, very simple process. It's just every day, it's like a ritual that you use to set up yourself as an amazing parent that you are. I really love this. I use this similar tool for something else, and then it's not mine. I got it from someone else, but I've kind of changed that and modified that for the parenting that we are working on. So I call this as my intention, setting up intention ritual every day. So it just takes few minutes in the morning and few minutes in the night. So the sheet, once I share with you, you will know it's got two parts to it. There's a part which stays start of the day, And then there is a part which is the end of the day. So the start of the day is basically the sentence that starts out with, today I set my parenting intention to focus on feeling. So you can use this sheet and then you can have your own journal or a diary or something. And what you need to do is just to fill in these things in the morning. It's 3 points in the morning and 3 points in the evening. So in the morning when you wake up, I always recommend doing first breathing exercises, simple ones. The reason why is because as humans, we are wired for negativity. So the moment we get up in the morning, our mind is always looking for, okay, are we safe today? What's going to happen to us? So by doing this breathing exercise, which is called belly breathing, you're instantly telling your mind and body that you're safe. Because we do chest breathing when there is danger around. Belly breathing calms down the mind and the body. So you can it's very simple. You just do breathing. You breathe in. When you breathe in through your nose, your tummy expands. And when you breathe out through your mouth and your tummy goes in. And when you breathe in, you just hold it for 5 counts. You breathe in, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then you breathe out, 2, 3, 4, 5. And you can do this for 4 times. It's a very short one, but it instantly calms you and sets you up for the day. So that's the first thing I would recommend doing in the morning. And the second thing is, so take out your journal and you can take this down. So the first thing that we write is, today I set my parenting intention to focus on feeling whatever you want to feel for that day at the end of the day. So basically here we are instructing, coding and directing your mind that today this is how I want to feel as a parent. Okay. And then the next one is, when I focus on feeling. So for example, like I'll say, today I set my parenting intention to focus on feeling that I'm listening to my kids, that I'm giving them a listening ear at the end of the day. So when I focus on feeling that I'm available for them and giving them my listening ear, what will I experience? That's the next one. So then you write down, I will experience happiness because I know that I've been there for my kids. And the other thing that you write is, I will keep reminding my child or teen, whoever you have, that he or she is what. So this day I'm going to choose to tell my son or my sons that they're amazing, whatever you want to tell your child. So it's 2 things here. One, we set up the intention for ourselves and set up intention how we want to tell our kids how they are to us. So I'm just gonna, if it's possible, just gonna show that the screen. So this is how it looks like. So start of the day, you say, today I set my parenting intention to focus on feeling. So the blank, what you see is that's what you will write in your journal, the first thing. The second will be, when I focus on feeling. So for me, it is focus on feeling that I have listened to my kids. I will experience happiness and I'll experience them being felt that they have been heard. So you write that down. And the last one is, I will keep reminding my teen that he is amazing. So that's what you do for the start of the day. Now, the end of the day, what we do is basically, and I can guarantee you this, I've done this for days, for months now. And end of the day, whatever you have set your intention, 10 on 10, you're going to achieve that. So end of the day, what we're going to say is, today when I kept my intention to feel. So for me, it was that I would feel that I've been listening to my kids today, giving them a listening ear. So today when I kept my intention to feel that I would give my kids a listening ear, what did I notice that day? I noticed, so you write whatever the day was for you. I noticed that the day was that. Most of the time it is that, the same thing. I noticed that my kids felt that they were heard. And then what you write is 3 things that you're grateful for as a parent. So anything that you feel that day you're grateful for. Gratitude is always very important because it kind of grounds us, and it's a reminder that life is not really bad. It's just a bad day, but we've got so much to be grateful for. And the last one is, and you can say, today I spend my time with my teen or child and learned, either you learn something from we always learn from our kids. I always say that my kids are my teachers. So what you learn from them that day, or what you shared to them, so either they learn something for you or you learn something from them. So I'm just gonna show that. So this is simple. So at the end of the day, so same way in the journal, you will have in morning what you have written, 3-4 blanks, and you fill that. And then in the night you write this. So today, when I kept my intention to feel whatever you had put the intention on top at start of the day, I noticed that the day was, so what you felt the day was after you decided that this is how you want to feel. And then you write, I'm grateful as a parent for these 3 things from my child or teen. And the last one is really, really nice. You just reflect and say, what did you actually learn from your child or teen that day, and what or did you share with them? And this you can make it as a ritual for you, because it just takes, as I said, like few minutes in the morning and few minutes in the night, and then make this for 21 days, and then it becomes a habit. And the other thing is, you can even, if you have teens, if you have kids maybe about 8 years, you can even share this with them. They can set up their own intention for the day. So they can say that today I want to feel this way. And when I focus on feeling this way, I will experience this today. And then in the end of the day, you can ask them that today, when you kept the intention to feel this way, what did you actually notice the day was? And you can ask them to write down 3 things that they are grateful for that day. And the last sentence, you can ask your child or teen to say, what did he or she learn from you today, or what he or she shared with you today, or what did they learn from somebody else today? What did they learn today, basically? So it's a very nice bonding tool for both you and your child. And it also makes your children realize that, that you're putting efforts, that you're doing work on yourself. So instead of expecting your kids, as I said in the beginning, to do things on their own, this is a good way of saying that, let's have this fun activity. You can call it any name, fun name that you want to call it, and then you say, let's do this together, because kids love collaborating, and they really like to see us as parents doing things, because for many years you're so used to us telling them do this, do that, and everything. So they really, really like it when we are also taking interest and doing things for ourselves, which is going to inspire them. And if they're resistant in the beginning to doing this, then you can do it. And then you'll slowly see them, involve them in it. And you'll slowly see them that they'll get curious. Make it fun, so that they also want to do it. Because imagine that at this age, if they can have a tool like this, it's gonna give them much more awareness and learning in their life, because now they'll be very consciously knowing what they have done each day. And the most important is feeling so empowered, because when we set up the intention in the morning, we are actually telling our mind that, this is how I want my life to be today. This is what I want to experience. This is what I want to feel. This is what I want my day to be. And that's such a powerful thing, because slowly the mind will start then giving you exactly what you want. Because as I always keep saying, the mind's job is to give you what it thinks you want it to do. So far, for so many years, we've been talking to our mind. We've been having all this inner chatter for so many years. But now you can do it consciously, because you can now completely instruct your mind what you want. You can be very clear, direct, and now you will see the difference. So that's why now you will see that in the night, your mind is going to give you exactly what you want. Sometimes when you have bad days or something, you'll think like, why did I have it this way, or why did this happen to me? It's because at some level, subconsciously, the mind is listening to us, and the mind thinks that it wants this way. One of my famous example is like if you have an interview, or if you have a presentation at work, and if you don't like presenting or doing public speaking, or even interviews where you're nervous, scared, you would be telling him, and I would do anything to do the presentation. I would do anything, or if your boss is troubling you, I would do anything to not be in this office. I would do anything to not like. And then you would see on the day of the presentation, you would fall sick, or something will happen, or a child will fall sick. And then, so you would not, so the mind is super good at this. in coming up ways. I've seen so many clients, I've done more than 100 sessions now. I've seen so many clients who have manifested illnesses so that they don't have to do something, or they don't have to go somewhere and end up doing something. So next time you have a stomach pain, go back and find out why you had that. But coming back to what we are saying, so this is a very, very interesting tool, and it's a very good tool to share with your kids, because they knowing that they have the power to create the life they want, because every single day what you're going to create is going to contribute to your whole life in full. So I hope this was very interesting and empowering for all of you. I would love to hear from you. If you have any questions, please, you can put it in the chat now, and I'm more than happy to answer the questions. And if there's anything you want to reach out to me later, you can always reach out to me on Facebook. My ID is Vidya Venkat, or you can reach out to me on my email, which is vidya@justbeyoualways.com. justbeyoualways.com. So if anyone has questions, please go ahead, and questions, any comments about what I shared, you can just go ahead and write on the chat. And I will figure out a way to share this PDF document. But I think you've already seen a bit of the screenshot. Any comments? Any questions? So great connecting with all of you. And if you have any questions, you can reach out to me, and I'm more than happy to talk further about this. And I really enjoy doing this, and it would be great if you can share your feedback after doing this with your children, and even doing this for yourself. Start with yourself first, and then you can include your children in it. So I just want you to keep reminding yourself that you've been given your kids because the universe or the supreme power or whatever you think knows that you are capable of handling kids. So your kids have you, and that's the blessing that they have you. So it's up to you now how we want to turn out, and we are all amazing parents. You just have to believe that. It's okay if you'd made mistakes. It's okay if you don't have the answers all the time. It's okay if you're not able to do things for your kids. It's completely fine. The most important I love about kids is they are very forgiving. They are still very pure and innocent, and whatever happens, they love us, and we just have to show up as amazing parent that we are. That's all. So to all the amazing parents, have a great weekend, and I will see you next week. Bye-bye.